Hey Gemini, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your month of May general reading here. Let's talk about the adorable magnificence that was the meditation I just did for you. So I saw the Gemini collective being represented as a lion, okay? And I saw you as the lion underneath this starry sky and looking at like in this very beautiful empty plain, right? A lion on a plane, you don't say. So the lion is in this plane and it's looking up at the stars in the sky and looking at all of the established constellations, as it were, right? Cassiopeia and Orion. Oh, did I just say O'Brien? Orion. Lord. And taking its nail and kind of tracing the constellations and then like swiping left, like, no, not that one. This constellation, no, not that one. Then I saw the lion sort of pierce through the sky and discover that it was merely paper and go into a completely different story. And I got this feeling and this message around choosing your own narrative at this time. It's interesting because did you ever read those Choose Your Own Adventure books as a kid? There's even that episode of Black Mirror, if anyone see it, where you can choose what happens next. That's what I'm getting for you. You're in a very unique position to choose your own adventure and create your own narrative. I mean, goals, that's amazing. Very, very cool. I feel like the lion aspect is also, you know, if you think about the lion as an apex predator and being the king of the jungle, as it were, I do feel like your masculine side is being called to be in a very full expression of itself, which means this is a time for action, right? Making moves, making decisions, and realizing that it's very magician energy is what it is too, right? Where it's in a position, there are times when we're being called to observe and gather information and have our feminine side be in full expression where we're receiving those directives and downloads so that we can then act on it and move forward, right? You're in the move forward. You're being asked to be in the move forward aspect of your life right now and be the narrator of your own story, right? That's very much what it feels like. Let's see what your animal, oh my God. Okay. The crocodile. Let's talk about this. Beautiful water energy here. So here's why I love that this came out, because the crocodile is about timing, about knowing when to move and when to be still, right? The crocodile chooses its moments, right? So what I like to say about, you know, this animal energy is that if the crocodile, if a piece of prey comes in front of it, but it's not the exact right time or not the right piece of prey, as it were, and it goes for it, it's going to alert the rest of its possible prey as to its location, the fact that it's there. So the crocodile's power, right, is in its ability to camouflage and blend in and only be seen when it's ready to be seen. If it waits until the perfect time and moment to go for the prey, then it's good. Then it doesn't matter if anyone knows where it is. It's got its meal and it's going to keep on moving to the next embankment where, you know, it'll again lay low until it's the time to move, right? Also within the crocodile energy is dragon energy. You see this dragon-esque eye here. The two are very similar energies for me. And the dragon is really about seeing oneself and others clearly. Okay? It's a beautiful, beautiful energy to come up for you here about timing and being in a masculine energy right now. It's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. I'm seeing Pinocchio for some reason. Pinocchio. Was it Giuseppe or something? Giuseppe, I can't remember the name. Geppetto created Pinocchio. It's that creator, you know, taking action energy. It's beautiful and it's precious and it's not always around. You know what I mean? It's a moment in time. It's an opportunity, as it were. So we have Six of Cups here, and I love that I was just seeing like Pinocchio, because this is childlike childhood energy. This is nostalgia. This is soulmate connections. People with whom you know, this can be friends or romantic with the Six of Cups, but you meet them and it feels like you've known them for a lot longer than you actually have in the 3D, right? But this is really, really beautiful here. There is this aspect of, yeah. Do you see this lady and how she's handing this cup of, I mean, to me, I'm going to call it, you know, mint chocolate chip ice cream. handing this little girl this, this cup full of wonder and deliciousness, right? And I feel like that's a lot of the point of this too, is that the color green's all over this too. Is the crocodile is green, and then green, 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 and which is the color of the heart chakra. I do feel like you are being presented with an opportunity to come from your wildest imagination and dreaming big and going for something that may either, by other standards or even your own standards, seem to be the unreachable dream or the unlikely outcome of something. But I'm hearing go for it. It's a lot less about how it turns out than you actually making moves around it and taking that leap of faith with and for and within yourself. But one thing is for sure, I feel like you're being presented this opportunity. I feel like this is the universe a bit. You're being presented this opportunity to kind of, make a move on what it is you desire, regardless, again, of the outcome. I wonder, for those of you who have been in a place of receiving, where you've been biding your time, back to the crocodile here, and you've been, gathering more information or waiting for the right moment or whatever it is, just a reminder, there's a time and a place for that, right? There's always a time and place for that. And timing is always really important. But there's also this aspect of there's really no such thing as a safe bet. Like, let me just put that out there and explain that. Like, there's really no such thing as a safe bet. And it's a lot less about, again, the product or the outcome of something as it is the experience and the journey of it. Just feels really important to say. Okay? And if you think about the hero's journey, if they were told at the beginning of their journey how it was going to turn out, halfway through or even at the end, they probably might not have undertaken it. Do you know what I mean? So there's something to that. And, within the crocodile as well is this beautiful medicine around embracing the unknown. And I feel like you're very much being called to do that, but also enjoy the unknown as well. And also, I'm just hearing it's about taking a risk and betting on yourself as well. There's something about that. Ace of Pentacles at the bottom, huge financial success and a lot coming to you. That's the thing too. Like, I'm feeling this energy of you're being called to, exercise an output of energy so that the energy that you desire can come to you. I feel like some of you have been in the marshes a little long, okay? Just a little long. And whatever way that resonates, with and for you. And I am drawn to all of this water energy here as well, okay? Emotions and intuition, right? Judgment. Beautiful. So Judgment, the tagline, it's interesting because a lot of things about the past are coming up here. So the tagline for the Judgment key is look back in pleasure. Look back in pleasure. Or look back with pleasure, whichever it is that you prefer. But there is something here about, because the Six of Cups is also about, the past or nostalgia or feeling soul connections where you feel like you've known someone a lot longer than you actually have. So there is this pronounced aspect here. But, Judgment as well, it's about having that clean and clear slate and making peace with choices that you've made, making peace with how things have and have not gone, and releasing any and all expectations or ideas about where you, quote, should be or thought you would be at any given point in time. Maybe you're exactly where you're meant to be, right? There's something to that here. I'm getting this huge feeling of making peace with the past. Making peace with the past. Something to that. Right? Making peace with the past. I'm also hearing it might help to reframe your past as well. Maybe looking back, especially at the places where it's difficult to do so, or you feel some resistance around doing so. Looking back at your past and going, let me just take another look at that. And maybe by doing so, gain a fresh perspective on it so that I can move forward unburdened. Right? Because there is this energy here of, clean slate, choosing your next adventure, choosing your own adventure, right? It's interesting. They're showing me scenes from the Jumanji movies as well, right? Where there is this aspect of like a video game where it's like you can choose your avatar, you can choose what your strengths are and your weaknesses are, and you can, choose, as you level up, like your experience, you can go this way or that way or that way. But it's not about going, I need to know exactly how each choice is going to go and what the end result will be before I make the choice. That's not why you're here. It's not to know exactly how things are going to go. It's about taking a chance and going with your gut and just being there for the ride, right? But the time to act is upon you. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, this is exactly what I was saying. So here's what I really like about the Two of Swords coming up in this position. So first of all, the major arcanas as in Judgment here. Look at St. George's flag there. Love it. The minors represent energies that if you see something that you don't like, you can change it. The majors represent, destined and or fated events, right? Not quite changeable. This is just part of your soul plan. This is where it is, where you are. The Two of Swords, we can come at this and dictate, because it's very much a crossroads, right? We can take this one of two ways, right? This can either be, depending on our response to it and how we interact with this energy, this can either be inner conflict or inner peace. Inner conflict or inner peace. Choose your journey, right? It really is up to you. But do you see all this thematic stuff around, the past and, option A, B, C, D, E, choosing to be the narrator of your own story? They're showing me scenes from the play Our Town by Thornton Wilder. They used the device of the narrator in that story, and it was a lot about a time where things were a lot more simple and slower paced, and there's that element of it. King of Swords on the bottom, hello, showing up here in your own reading. I love it. So you've got the Eight of Cups here. To clarify the Six of Cups, this is really storyboarding nicely, as I like to say. So the Eight of Cups is, moving on into, we could say like the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, but Eight of Cups is moving on from situations that don't serve you anymore and moving away from troubled times, emotional hotspots, right? There's something here about your past that is asking you to make peace with it. On one hand, so that you don't have to repeat it. Ooh, why do I feel like that just landed a certain way? Making peace with your past so that you don't have to repeat it. It's up to you. But there is a lot of new energy that is yours to, manifest and be at the helm of, right? But you are being asked to emotional Marie Kondo, do some emotional Marie Kondo, clean out and reorganize. But I keep getting this feeling of like returning to the past, in your mind, just to reframe it and send love to it in all directions and go, I make peace with that. Because here's how you're going to know if this is for you as well. Is if certain aspects of your past, either choices that you made or someone else made, or aspects that you feel that you were unfair to you, I'm getting unfair, like a opposite of the justice key. Anything that felt unfair or anything like that, that is going to come up and deal with you if you don't turn around and deal with it. It'll show up in really, seemingly random moments. Like you'll be talking to someone just out of the blue and they'll say something that sparks a memory in you, within you of, an aspect or relationship with someone that you had that just, it's like, oh, it just gets my goat and oh, I'm feeling triggered in this moment. That is your subconscious and or your higher self alerting you to the fact that that is asking to be healed so that it can be released so that you can manifest new energies and things and love and success and all of that stuff, right? Okay, Judgment. I'm feeling particularly stubborn energy here, I will say. Remember, indecision is a decision. Okay. Ooh, Strength on the bottom. Beautiful. Five of Pentacles. To clarify the Judgment key, let's talk about it. So Five of Pentacles is feeling separate from what is rightfully yours or from what you desire, right? So remember what I just said about aspects or people or given circumstances in your past where you feel like weren't fair or that you were left out in the cold or even you left someone else out in the cold, whatever that is. The past is coming up and calling for your attention. Now, the reason that this is happening is because there's new to manifest. You understand? And the universe, your higher self, is giving you this opportunity to make room for the new, but there's no room for the new when the past is taking up your emotional closet space. Might I recommend journaling? I have been finding journaling to be immensely helpful around exactly what's coming up for you in the here and now, and I would absolutely recommend it for you. Okay? This also doesn't have to be a long and drawn out process either. Like, you know what I mean? Again, it's not about the, the product of it. It's about, the process of it and setting that intention and making a move on it, regardless of how it turns out. But there is something to be said about being vigilant and taking action around, manifesting what you desire and not, allowing yourself to be stagnant in a place for too long of where life is happening at you or to you, and you're being in the place of like a passive receiver. You're being asked to be the magician, okay? Being asked to be the magician. There's a reason, because the energy is right for that for you. And it kind of makes sense too, because your birthday season is next up to bat. And usually your birthday season is wish fulfillment season, right? And so it's like, can you Marie Kondo before your birthday season comes? Ooh, I think putting it in that context is rather helpful. Fascinating. 4 of Pentacles to clarify the 2 of Swords. So this is interesting. Remember when I said I felt a stubbornness? 4 Pentacles is stubbornness. It's also feeling stagnant, in place, stuck. And then I want to point out the Reaper here. This is it's beautiful. The Reaper. Also, 4 + 2 is 6. You guys were born in late May going into, June here. So something about that. The Reaper here, I feel like, is saying move or be moved. I feel like this came up in the general reading I did for the Taurus new moon. There is this feeling of move or be moved. This is Marie Kondo. It's like holding on so tightly that you can't make gains in either direction. Release, so that you can, reach out and grab new things that are better for you, that aren't, again. It's about healing the past so that you don't have to repeat it, right? I just have this image of you guys just wearing the same shirt for years and years. And it's like, you don't have to keep wearing that shirt. You don't have to stay in certain patterns. You don't have to attract towards you what you've always had, right? There's something to that. Again, move or be moved. Also, the skeleton here is bringing to mind with the Reaper, the death key, Scorpio energy, something ending so that new can rise up and, something new can emerge. This is an opportunity in a moment in time. You can either take advantage of this or not. I mean, it's up to you. And honestly, either way, lessons are before you and life will go on. It's really it's an opportunity in time, and you're being presented with, a road ahead that can look really blissfully different in a very positive way than, it has in the past. And I really think that that's beautiful. And I think for a group of you too, this has a lot to do with work. I'm just really drawn to the Pentacles here. I do feel it has to do with relationships as well. Familial, romantic, I almost said romantical. Yes. Familial, romantic, even with your children or children in your life around you. So we have children coming up here as a theme as well. But I do feel for some of you, if you're in a job that feels like it's really steeped in obligation, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. Or you're checking out mentally while you're doing the work. You're being asked to really take the blindfold off and not just get through it. Don't be passive about it, right? Observe yourself. Take notice of those feelings. You are not here to come from a place of obligation. What if I told you that you could make money doing what you love to do? The question is not how and when and why. It's about taking that in and believing it and then investigating within yourself. If time and money were no object, how would you spend your time? There's a huge clue in that. You have this energy before you of a major upgrade over a lot of different areas. And it's up to you to move forward and take out, reach forward and take advantage of that, like the crocodile, okay? Let's get an animal oracle for my Gemini. Yes. Fruit bat, flying fox. This says kindness. Now I want to point something out. This calls to mind the hanged man, okay, in the deck. So the hanged man is a pause in the action to flip one's perspective. Now I want to point something else out here too. So kindness, I'm getting a very distinct message around, remember when I said, sending love, and we can even say kindness, compassion, empathy even, to your past situations that you feel, others treated you unfairly, or you treated others unfairly, or you got the raw end of the deal, or maybe you made decisions where you go, God, if I'd made a different decision, how different might my life look? There's this energy here of either I'm not where I thought I'd be at this point, or holding yourself to certain expectations around, timelines and goals. I'm hearing to flip your perspective and show yourself immense kindness right now. Show yourself kindness and show others around you kindness. Show your past self kindness. Show your future self kindness, right? There's a certain stubbornness and a vigilance here that I feel may work for you in other aspects of your life at different times. But right now, it's really working against you. And I'm hearing that the more that you can sort of, show yourself this sort of ease, the more ease and compassion and empathy that you're going to attract towards you, okay? But I feel like there is this energy of being a bit hard on yourself, and you're being asked to just kind of go, yo, it's all good. You are where you're meant to be, and you'll always be where you're meant to be. There's really no such thing as a wrong move per se. It's just about making choices from a place of, trust, intuition, faith, love, groundedness, all of that good stuff, as opposed to making choices from fear or lack, right? So maybe it's about looking at your past, situations and choices and relationships and go, where did I make decisions, or where did I choose indecision because of fear? How has fear kept me from what I desire in my life? And maybe by establishing that, and that's a beautiful writing prompt for you too, maybe by getting very clear on that, will you be able to look forward and go, okay, I've healed the past, and I've dared to take the blindfold off and really look at it even when it was uncomfortable to do so. And because I did that, I don't have to repeat it, okay? Also, bats represent shadow energy as well. So again, I do feel like this is speaking of looking at those aspects of yourself that may be especially hard to look at. Okay, we all have them, honey. This is not just, specific to the Gemini collective for the month of May. This is across the board. And I really do feel like also some of you have an energy around you. This could be friends around you, family, again, your children, nieces, nephews, but there is someone around you. She's like scratching this like beautiful fruit bat's chin and like, hey baby, I'm about to feed you some fruit. It's all good. There's someone around you in your inner circle that absolutely is there to show you all of that sweetness and treat you with kindness. And there's someone really good in your atmosphere. I'm hearing to allow them to be there for you as you're going through this process of flipping your perspective and looking at your past so that you can inform your future moving forward. I'm hearing like bounce your ideas off them quite literally, and you can receive, a lot of emotional goodwill, through using your words and talking this out, because at the core of this, trying to do this all on your own feels overwhelming and completely unnecessary. So whether this is like journaling and talking, or just talking, hey, can I bend your ear? Oh, hey, or hey, can I just like monologue at you? Or hey, like what would you do if you were me? Or hey, you've known me for 20 years. If someone can connect with a friend from the past, I'm feeling this, your family member. Hey, you've known many versions and aspects of me. Can I get your perspective on this past event? Can I get your perspective on my, this past relationship or whatever it is? And I feel like, again, getting someone else's perspective could be very beautiful and illuminating for you. And I feel like you're being invited to do that. And I also want to point out, this is like paradise around here. This very much looks like, paradise found, darling. Really, really feels like that. And this island imagery here too. I'm hearing to take this time and focus on this and put this at the, at the top of your priorities right now, okay? So that you can move forward and really manifest a lot of what you want. But it really is about Marie Kondoing things, sending love and kindness to yourself in all directions of time, so that you don't have to end up, in a similar cycle to where you are now. Not that you're in a bad place or anything, please trust and believe. It's more like you're being presented with an upgrade. You're on your computer and this option comes up to update the system, but in order to update it, your computer has to, what? shut down before it can reboot. You're being asked to allow the shutdown to happen where you go inside and look at these situations in yourself before the reboot, which will happen either way. It's just about when the reboot happens going into your birthday time of June, late May into June. Will you be the updated, upgraded system, or will you just be, you know, a slightly different version of the pre-existing operating system? Okay? Gemini, I'm sending you so much love. You have a beautiful opportunity here to work on this before your, you know, wish fulfillment season. And I'm living for it. And I have a feeling that what's on the other side of this is all, you know, coconut and papaya and watermelon and, you know, juicy, sweet fruit realness. And I really love it for you. Okay. And I'm feeling a really relaxation. Your birthday month, they're hinting to me, your birthday month feels a lot like Kokomo. We'll get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we want to go. Down to Kokomo. That's what it feels like. So just take this time getting to where you're going and don't go for the lowest hanging fruit. Go for the juiciest fruit. Okay? My beautiful Geminis, this is your month of May general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I would just love that. And as always, thank you so much for being here. And most of all, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.